Hey, so this is a look at the comics I ordered last week, which came this weekend. So just gonna go through them, give you my opinions of them. Okay, only I think there was 6 last week, so just go through them one at a time. So the first one is Gotham City, Year 1, Book 6. So this is the final one by Tom King, Philip Hester. This series has been amazing. I mean, it's arguably got to be Philip Hester's finest artwork he's done in a comic. He's got such a distinctive style and he suits the crime genre so much. As I've said before in other episodes about this comic, it's got a nice noirish crime pulp thriller kind of feel to it. All about Slam Bradley, lots of twists and turns, and a very, 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 I mean, look at that. That is just amazing. A very, very, very satisfying conclusion to a story. And it leaves it in such a place where they can do further adventures of Slam Bradley. And I really hope that they do. Tom King's at the top of his game with this book. And the artwork by Philip Hester is just absolutely amazing. So 10 out of 10 for that one. One of the series I've most enjoyed this past year or so. If you've not got it, do buy it. If you can't find the issues, wait for the graphic novels to come out, but do buy it because it's so good. So yeah, so starts on a high note. Let's see if it carries on that way. Next up, after a bit of a hiatus, Vanish number 5 by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. This is their take on like an Image kind of grim and gritty superhero. First of all, let me just comment, $3.99. Super cardstock cover. Really high quality paper. So it really makes the artwork sing on the page. But the story, I don't know. The story's it's not really going anywhere. But I keep buying it. Artwork, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Story, a muddled 6.5 out of 10. Will I carry on with it? Yes, because I'm intrigued enough to see if something will develop from it. But we're now 5 issues in. Oh, by the way, the cover's by Daniel Warren Johnson. It's just gorgeous. We're now 5 issues in, and like I said, it by now. I mean, when you compare it to say what I've just looked at, the Gotham City one, it's got that old early Marvel feel and the Brian Michael Bendis trap of where they'll make one issue's worth of story last over 6 issues, and that's what this feels like. It feels like padding, a lot of padding, but it's gorgeous to look at, and it's not badly written, but it's just flabby. So I will carry on with it for the time being because it's good value for money. Artwork's really, really stunning, and it's worth for the covers alone. So like I said, story 6.5 out of 10, artwork 9 out of 10. And next up is one of my biggest surprises of the year, and that's Local Man by Tony Fleecs, of Stray Dogs fame, and Tim Seeley, who did Hack and Slash. And this is Local Man. It's a really clever story. It's superhero meets crime noir. I'm saying crime noir. Crime noir. And what they've done, it's a flip comic as well. There's a 4-page flip story on the back. And it's basically about this guy here. I think it's called Crackerjack, I can't remember. But anyway, and he's part of like a superhero team from the glory days of the early 90s Image comics. And then the main story is him now in present day, where he's kind of left the group in disgrace, that none of them want to know him. And the artwork's very different. It's very slice of life kind of art style. And there's this evolving mystery that started, this murder mystery. And I don't want to give too much away because, like I said, it's only been 2 issues so far, so I'm sure they're easy enough to get, and I do highly recommend them. It's a really interesting spin on superheroes and really interesting spin on a crime comic. And I'd give this 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. And there's lots of room for improvement as well, which is always good. And next up, getting my Sandman universe fix by reading Dead Boy Detectives. No, this is issue 4. This is by... I can never say his name. Pornsak Pichetshote. He did a horror comic for Image a while ago, which is really good. It's like tackling the issues of immigration, racism, people's preconceived conceptions of people from different cultures, while splicing it with a really intense, horrific ghost story, and touching on subjects like madness as well and insanity. But it's a filling artist for some reason. I think this is only a 6-issue series, but maybe they're doing like with Nightmare Country, where they do 6 issues, then there's a break for a few months, then they do another 6 issues. Hopefully they will. And this issue's drawn by Javier Rodriguez. Does really nice. Doesn't detract from the story because it's very similar to the other artist. Nice artwork. As I've said before, really enjoying this story, and it tackles the ghost story, but from a foreign perspective, from more of a Eastern perspective. I think it's, I can't remember now, Nepal or somewhere like that. But it's focused on the Dead Boy Detectives, who've had quite a number of series now, created by Neil Gaiman. They kind of like spun out from the Sandman universe years and years ago. And it's just a fun weird. It's a weird blend of horror meets the Hardy Boys in a way. And I really do highly recommend it. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. And next up is the one that I think a lot of people have been gushing about this past week or so, and I'm going to gush as well. Doom Patrol, Unstoppable Doom Patrol by Dennis Cover and Chris Burnham. Wow. I liked the Young Animals series of the Doom Patrol, the one that Gerard Way did, but it felt lacking in a way. It felt more like, well, I mean, because he's so associated with his own creation, Umbrella Academy, it just felt like Umbrella Academy in a different skin. Whereas this feels like an actual progression from that and Grant Morrison's run and Rachel Pollack's run, but more entangled and enmeshed in DC Universe. And even Batman has a spot in this. In a way, I wish they hadn't included Batman in the story. It just seemed a bit unnecessary. But he didn't overstay his welcome, which was good. They kind of got rid of him. But yeah, it's what everything a Doom Patrol comic should be. It's weird as hell, which is great. Artwork is funky, very indie looking. And it's got a brilliant blend of like modern Doom Patrol and classic 60s Doom Patrol. And yeah, there's the Batman one. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Apparently it's a 6-issue series. Well, apparently it's been extended to a 7-issue one because they're doing it like a kind of like an extra issue, and hopefully it proves successful enough that it comes back for more. 9.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Really loved it. But Gotham City is my comic of the week because it was just a perfect finish. But this is a great launch for a new series. Like I said, 9.5 out of 10. And my final one, but by no means least, is Detective. And this is by Ram V, but not his normal artist. Not the normal artist on here. Just trying to see if I can find who the artist is. And it's Stefano Raphael who's the artist, so not the normal artist. Gorgeous cover, by the way, and a good backup story by Cy Spurrier, if I remember, with beautiful artwork on the backup strip by Caspar Wingard, focusing on Mr. Freeze. But yeah, this is the best Batman comic out there. Chip Zdarsky, for some reason, Chip Zdarsky, he has the fanboys because he's got the Daredevil exposure, etc. But the Chip Zdarsky one, it just feels like he's doing things what have been done already. It's stuff what Scott Snyder's done and other people in the past have done, and it's readable, but it's not nothing. It's not got the wow factor. This has the wow factor. This is Ranvi's natural progression from what he did with Swamp Thing. Well, it's very poetic, it's very gothic, and it's got so much. He's infused so much lore. Like his annual wasn't wasted. His annual covered the history of Gotham, and Gotham's very much a character as much as Batman and his Rogues Gallery is. The city's very prominent, as almost like a tangible being itself, and yeah, it goes from strength to strength, and I can't wait to get like 20 issues and just like read through them all as one big story. It's so good. 9.5 out of 10 for that one. And as an extra, now normally my comics come on a Thursday at the earliest, or a Friday, Saturday normally, but this week's comics came today, and it's only 3 issues. It's a very light week, so I've not read these yet. These are just fresh out of the box, and only 3 issues. So the ones I got for this week were Batman 134, what I was just talking about. Yeah, story's okay, but I really do not like Hawthorne on the artwork. Not Batman art. Doesn't suit the story. I just hate... I don't like when Batman goes sci-fi or when Batman goes time travel. I didn't like it when Morrison did it, and I love Morrison as a writer. Batman works best when he's in the shadows, when he's a pulpy, noirish, almost horrific character with supernatural elements, what might not be supernatural, like a bit like the Shadow, that kind of vibe. But this is leaving me cold. Can't fault the writing. It's good writing, but it doesn't feel like I'm reading a Batman comic. I just don't like this modern iteration of Batman where it feels modern, but it also feels almost throwing back to the 60s, 50s, where anything can happen. And I like my Batman to be a detective, a crime fighter, and this doesn't feel like it. Alternate universes, I'm fed up of them. So there we go. Like I said, not read it yet. Only came out this week. And next, what I got for this week is Blood Tree number 3. Great crime thriller. Initially, I thought it was going to be a supernatural one, but it wasn't. It's just a good, hard crime thriller. Got shades of Seven and Silence of the Lambs to it. About these 2 detectives who are tracking down this serial killer and finding out the motivations behind him. So look forward to this. Artwork's taken a bit to get used to, but it's growing on me. He was the artist for the Boom comic from years ago. What was it now? Escape from New York spin-off comic. He's got a very Guy Davis kind of feel, but even rougher than Guy Davis. But he's growing on me, and the story, it's worth buying for the story alone. And I do love the covers as well. That's such a great cover. So look forward to that. And finally, taking a chance with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Got number 1, enjoyed it, so I thought I'll try it for a few more issues, see if I'm going to carry on with it. So it could go either way, this one, and I'm doing the same with Doctor Strange. And for Marvel I will try the Hulk comic, and I might try Guardians. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I'm going to see how Cosmic Ghost Rider goes, because I do like Stephanie Phillips. So those are my comics for this week. I might do a review for those 3 once I've read them. And that's my comics from last week with reviews, and we'll look at my comics for this week. So that's it. Hope everybody has a nice Easter. I am now going to go and start at long last, my Luther Strode overview. It might be split into 3 parts. Might do 1 part today and another part in another few days, because it's a lot of comic. Okay, bye.